Hey everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. It's again real late at night, typical. It's just the schedule that I have to work with. Here we are, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. We are working on that mold I told you about. I got the stuff in the mail today to finish my mold up for my tank rails and my tank commanders. My actual Krieg tank commander, and then the tank rails themselves. That I wanted to be able to put on all of my tanks for Krieg, but then I decided, you know what, if this works out, I'm gonna do it on everything. And then the mold came out really well. As you guys can see, I haven't actually. This is the first cast. I haven't actually pulled it apart yet. Feels pretty solid. The only issue I have with this mold is because it's relatively thin. As you guys can see, a little bit of a problem. All of this, white area you see here, all of this is bleed over. So, but I'm also dealing with very thin pieces, as you guys can see. And so, needless to say, all of these rubber bands were needed to try to stop leakage. Okay. Something I've thought about in the future, not sure if it would help, and I think it might be a waste of material, was to make a trough, if you will, around, but I'm not sure that that's really gonna help me out. What I was really pleased to note, or see have happened, was that I didn't need to go any further than what I did. Basically right here. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. And if I can get my camera repositioned here. That's probably good enough, and I'll just move this. Anyway, if you take a look at where my blade is, right here, I made these cuts to get, the plastic to come down in here. I almost made a channel here and here, like here, and then even over here, so that I could get some more air bleed off. But it doesn't look like I really need that, and it worked out fairly well. Of course, we also have big giant channels. Let me zoom this back out. We also have big giant not channels, but areas here where the air can get itself in there and do what it needs to do. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and open this up right now, and you guys can see what's going on. And I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be a solid cast. And if that's the case, the other thing I did, I know, I'll get to it in a second, is I went back to the new era Lehman Russes that I had that I was going to transfer over to the Krieg Death Korps, and I was able to pop off, I guess I didn't put that much glue on, which is a good thing, but I was able to pop off, the turret, I can't even speak right now. Anyway, the turret hatches. So that way, this guy right here, him working out, I will now be able to put one of him in every turret, and that includes the chimeras as well, which all of the chimeras have all their tracks on. They've got the doors. Looks like I don't have to worry too much about trying to do the whole door thing unless these little hinges break or something. I glued the las guns in place because they just, you're not going to do anything with them, so it's really about, all that needs to happen here. And as long as you're gentle with them, you're not going to break them off. Also, I have, most everything pulled off as far as weapon options and things like that. I'm putting together, so I will be magnetizing weapons for that. But let's get back to this. Just peel this off here. As you can see, came off fairly well. Got a little. We always get this little bit of extra here, but it's just it's like dead skin, if you will, or something. I don't know. And then this stuff right here, because it is so solid. And in case you're wondering, like this piece right here, let's see if you can see that sticking up. That's from, you know, the whole the key, if you will, that helps keep the mold together. Which I will be honest, I totally forgot about because it's been a while since I've done this, and I had to do it at the end, right before I poured the last half. So let me get this mold out of the way. Let's get to work here. This is pretty thick stuff here at the moment, and I'm gonna have to be a little careful and hope that we don't, you know, cut through that. I'm surprised at how thick it actually is. I thought it was gonna be less thick, but it is pretty dense at the moment, and that's just because of that spill. I mean, once I get it squared away, I shouldn't have to worry about that, which may just include having some stronger rubber bands or bigger rubber bands. Although I did think about using my trusty clamps. I just need to have something flat that's going to go on the sides, and of course that will also preserve, you know, the amount of material that I'm using here to do all of this. Let me look at that again. Did I just cut his shoulder off? Barely. That's alright. Not really concerned about that so much as I am his face and head and stuff. That I'm really concerned about. Whoa, look out. Hope nobody over there lost an eye. Just kidding. But here we have our Krieg Commander. Man, that came out great. I mean, really came out great. Hoses came out good. There's not much really left over. Yeah, that came out. I'm super happy about that. If you guys can make that out, looks really good. I mean, really good. Alright, cool. So that's strike one for that. And like I was saying, this guy's going to basically just sit in here. Now he's a little shallow for my taste in here. But I mean, that's a simple fix. You can put something on the bottom and raise him up. It's like, you don't have to be a genius to figure that one out. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this arm off. And I probably would have avoided that whole breakage of his shoulder if I'd have just been a little bit more patient. But like I said, that shouldn't even be a problem. You know, once I get the mold right as far as stuff not leaking out and having all this extra on the side here. If you've ever seen any of my other videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, I've made some pretty decent molds here. And just again, disclaimer, this is for my own edification. This is not for tournament play. This is not for reselling or trying to sell or, you know, scalp off of Games Workshop or whatever. I just want these little amenities for my vehicles and stuff that you just cannot get. So, alright, so that's good. Got another arm over here. Be careful. There we go. This one's got the binos in it, and I chose these arms specifically because of what I want. Basically I left out the arm where they're holding the gun, or I mean holding the butterfly grips on the stubber or storm bolter. I wanted them in a more, you know, kinetic, dynamic pose, like they're doing something else. You know, whether it be the binos here or whatever, but that's what I wanted. Yeah, this is working out fairly well. Oh yeah, those binos came out real well too. Yeah, I'm super happy with this. Oh, it broke, but we can easily glue that back together. His arm snapped in half. That's no big deal. Other than that, he looks pretty good. I don't really see anything else. Maybe you can clip that off, but being little particular at the moment. Alright, now to the main thing. I say the main thing, I mean, obviously I wanted the tank commander as well. Okay. A little bit of a... got a little bit crazy there. Yeah, if it wasn't for how thick this plastic is right here, I wouldn't have near these problems. But man, that's pretty damn thick. Wow. Oh, I was afraid that was going to happen, but basically because it's so thick it broke right through, but that's okay. We can glue that back together. That's easy fix. I mean, super easy. I'll show you here. When we're done, I'll fix this stuff and put it back together for you. Oh yeah, that looks really good. A little bit wider than it should be. I think what happened, maybe the mold moved or something like that. That's what I'm seeing here. But the good thing, yeah, that's what happened. But the good thing is I don't have to necessarily worry about that because it's not hard to just, you know, bypass that kind of thing when it comes to painting or whatever. My German Shepherd's like, what the heck's flying at me over here? Take cover. Where are we at here? Yeah, this is super thick, so probably the biggest problem right here, and whatever happened with the mold, and you know, when I was trying to get it squared away. But you know, this stuff combined with, like I said, you know, building tank treads and things like that, I mean, this is, you know, it's a doable or it's a viable option. I mean, to say, you know, if you need things, and it's not hard to do. Oh, and I meant to say, when the stuff came in, I was pleased that, if you remember from the video prior to last night's, I mentioned how I got the wrong stuff whenever I ordered it, and that I had seen a review where somebody had they got the wrong stuff as well, and I was concerned about that because this was the only place I could get it, and I had ordered 2 sets of the stuff. Well, they both came today, and they are the right stuff, so that's the great part. At least the one that I opened, we'll put it that way. But both packages say that they're the right stuff, put it that way. So I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, both of these look wider than they're supposed to be, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop with that, and we're going to I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to go with making another one because I'm fighting something here that I know that once I perfect what I want to do, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna throw these pieces away because I can use them for terrain, you know, blown up tank, that kind of thing. Wouldn't be hard to do, even if I just got the one. But I'm gonna get off this, as you know, the main excess here, and then I'll just throw this in the bin for later. Hell, if anything, it'll look like urban terrain with, you know, a gutter or, you know, whatever. That's not where. Here we are. Got that. Snap that off. I actually plan to take and I'll show you here in a second. I mentioned it. Yeah, that's enough for me. I mentioned it the other night about having an old Lehman Russ that I had used a long time ago, and here it is. And what I plan on doing is, like I said, sealing that up, sealing this stuff up, and then using this with terrain. I'm going to build a base, and like where it's kind of jacked up, blown up or whatever, and then I'm going to make a mold of that, which will be super simple because all I got to do is put it down like this, with the flat here. The mold will go around it, pull it out, fill it, that's it. I mean, super easy. And then I have, wreckage on the battlefield. So that'll be awesome. Let me get this stuff out of the way here. My trash can is getting full. I'm really liking my new desk setup. Alright, so let's think about this here for a second. I want to make sure we've got what we need. Make sure we got nothing in the way. And for those of you not familiar with smooth-on products, or specifically this way of doing things, it's typically a 10 to 15 minute curing. As far as the medium that I'm putting in here, usually 4 hours for the mold, and that's about all it took. Well, okay, 4 hours for each half, put it that way. Let's see here. Make sure we got the keys lined up. Looks like we're doing okay there. And we're gonna fucking... Sorry about the cursing. Didn't mean to say that. It doesn't matter. We're really gonna make sure that we've got some good stuff going on here, because I think we had some expansion in the middle, and that was part of our problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm really going to lay on thick these rubber bands. Okay. And then you got to watch the ones on the outside because they'll bow the inside. So maybe give it a little stretch like that, to make sure you're getting what you want. I'll put some more here on the outside to try to keep some of that from leaking out. And I've got plenty more rubber bands. And we're gonna get a good mold here. I mean, some of you guys, don't take this the wrong way. You may be like, dude, all that work. Trust me, when you get the pieces you want, and I'm about to show you something else, when you get the pieces you want, yeah, 3D printers are out there, stuff like that. I don't have the disposable income for that right now. Of course, some of you are probably like, well, dude, you just bought this stuff. Whatever. Well, one, disposable income, to buy it. Curing station, all of that stuff. Space to have it. I got 2 little ones running around. I do not have the space at the moment. And these researching the STLs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I get it. There's GW spies out there and blah blah blah, and it's it is what it is. But I haven't found anybody really that's been that helpful with wanting to, provide that kind of stuff, help people out. So, but what I was going to say was, you probably can't make this out, and I'm not going to go too much in detail with it, but basically we've got some out of print models, okay, Imperial Guard stuff. I'm not even going to bring it up to the camera because I know it's going to happen, but it's everything that I need and that I want as far as Acadian Imperial Guard force and the way I want them to look. Now I know that they're not normal defense troops or whatever, but it's what I want that army to look like, you know. And thankfully, because my honor is intact, and of course, you know, like I said, I mean, who knows when's the next time I'm ever gonna get to play a game, let alone, you know, hopefully it's sometime, you know, be able to paint this stuff. We just got a million more models to put together, it seems. You know, I'm going to have, you know, well, there's two sets of things in here, two different ones. I'm going to have the models that I want. One thing, like for instance, if you remember the old stormtroopers, okay, which there are some in there, I don't like, for me, it's probably why I'm, you know, drawn to the Krieg Death Korps and the Steel Armageddon Steel Legion, you know, stuff like that, is I don't like the faces that GW has for the Guard. I think the heads are too freaking massive. I mean, hell, the helmets and the gas masks and everything for the Steel Legion. The Steel Legion are bigger than the Krieg Death Korps. Now I know Games Workshop model versus Forge World model, but regardless, I just don't like the faces. And the stormtroopers, you had some that had their whole mask on, you know, which was cool, you know, with their lenses and all that stuff. And then you had others in the same box set in the squad that didn't have a mask on. I'm just like, it makes zero sense to me, you know, why you would include the two together. And if you remember, if you have ever bought them or you own them, they came in, you know, blister packs of 2. So yeah, I'm gonna make what I want. So anyway, let's see if we can make this work. We'll get our one tank commander that at least survived the process out of the way. I've got my 2 cups here. We got a crap load of rubber bands in that thing. Alright. I also know I don't need as much as I thought I did. So go with that. Part B, shake this up a little bit. Poured a little too much. Part B. That's okay. I was kind of thinking maybe I didn't quite go enough on part A. And I like, again, for those of you that are new to the channel or new to watching me do this, I like using these cups. If you can look in there, you'll see it's got these little ridges and stuff. That's what I use for measuring. It's really great. And let's make sure we got everything ready. Got our napkin, we got our stirring stick / pencil. Pour that in. Pour this in. Stir it up. And I've got this old other mat on here because I don't want to ruin my new one, in case we have a, you know, a breach or what have you. Alright, I'm going to turn this around nice and carefully here, little at a time, very little. Now ideally when you're doing this, if it works out right, it's going to fill up on you just like it did. And you should get some air bubbles. Oh, I'm seeing it go down right now. That's not a good sign. Oh, maybe it only went down a little bit. And I don't pour over the hole itself. And you got to remember, this stuff's got weight to it as well, so. Yeah, it's definitely leaking somewhere. I don't know if this is going to help at all. wanted to make some paddles for this. And I got a little bit of leakage there. But it's leaking out into the middle like it did before, and I don't want that. So if it's going to leak anywhere, I want it to go out to the sides so it'll get away from the model. That seems to have helped. Of course, it would have been nicer if I'd have done it where these were angled down to hold it up. Maybe I can make that work. There we go. Looks like we're doing all right there. All right, I guess we'll see what happens in about 10 minutes. You guys can see how much crap we had left over, and if I'd have let it keep doing what it was doing, then yeah, we would have ran into some problems. I don't see anything out of the bottom, and that's the only problem with these the thinner molds is, or when I say thinner mold, not just the mold itself, but the thing you're making being so thin. You know, it's kind of like, you know, why I didn't. Oh, and I didn't even show you guys. It's kind of like why I didn't make, you know, a cast of this. This part would have came out just fine probably, but this part right here, no way. I mean, it wouldn't matter how you did it. I mean, the best you could have hoped for was maybe just to do something flat, but then you run the risk or you end up losing this. So what I ended up doing with these tanks here, you know, that we had the spare part of this and the spare part of a turret, and that's all that was left from the Vanquisher tanks. And then we made, you know, just recapping here, and then we made these. And again, they're only one-sided, there's no detail on this side. Is we used plasticard, okay, to fill in the bottom, as you can see. And then this is an old Hunter Killer missile thing that I just slapped on there for some detail. So when you're looking at this tank, you know, it just, you know, once it's painted up, I mean, you're not going to know. I mean, it's not going to look like, you know, like it, you know, it's all ghetto fabulous or whatever. Let's see here. Looks like we got a lot of air bubbles, so that's a good sign. I like that. I mean, that have come up. I'm going to step over here and remove this sweatshirt real quick. Sorry guys, I'm not Mr. Rogers. I don't change clothes on TV. And if you guys can make this out, see this white right here for you guys that are new to the channel, that's the curing right there. So we're already well on our way. I'm just glad that my clamps work. I use these clamps for just about everything, and I'm telling you, I think, what are they, like $4 or $5 at Home Depot or Lowe's if you're in the United States or what have you. Well worth your time and money, I'm telling you. And I got the, you know, some bigger ones for Land Raiders and stuff like that. Yeah, man, this works out the way I'm hoping. All of my tanks, except for probably the Chimeras, because I just not really, I mean, maybe I can fit it on there. I have to do some kind of modification. I'm not really seeing where you could put one of those on there, especially since the tank rail would be in the way of the door. Trench rail, sorry. So maybe I won't be doing it for Chimeras, but I could definitely do it for the Lehman Russes and whatnot. Let's see here. Let me get an actual one and take a look at this while we're waiting on this to cure. If I put that, yeah, see, there'd be no way for the the hatch to open versus, you know, sticking that on the back of, you know, sorry, turret's turning around the wrong way because it's making space on the back here, you know, for the tank. So all of my Lehman Russes will end up with it, and that's gonna be a total of, let's see, 6 and my Bane blades probably. I may like put 4 or something like that on there just for that. Let me think here. So this army's gonna have 6 Lehman Russes. No, sorry, 9 Lehman Russes. The Krieg Death Korps have 9 Lehman Russes, and my Steel Legion have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, possibly 8, maybe 9 Lehman Russes as well. So it's a lot of these that we got to make. A lot of these things, but it's doable. Super doable. Let me go ahead and take these pieces out and put them in the box that has all of the terrain stuff that we want to use for battlefield stuff. Yep. You guys can see that white right there. Oh, you know, it's cured, but it's still a little soft right now. Now another thing that's making this a little soft at the moment is I have sprayed this down with Smooth On Universal Mold Release. This stuff right here is amazing. I've had this particular can. You don't need a lot. I've had this can, gosh man, 2014, and I still haven't gone through it, if that tells you anything. And you don't need it all the time, but it works like a charm. I usually use it for the initial mold making procedure. You know, spray the clay, push the model in, then pour the, you know, spray the model as well, then pour the silicone rubber on top. Once it cures, flip it over, remove the clay, spray the thing down. We'll clean up any clay that might be left over. You know, spray it that way, and then pour the next mold or the next half. And I mean, it comes apart, you know, super easy. Something else I was going to talk to you guys about. Just trying to think what the heck it was. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm definitely plugging along on this. Oh, I was going to give you a correction to my list. Alright, so the Krieg Death Korps, what do we got left? We've got 6 Chimeras that we've got to put together. We've got 6, wait, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 more Lehman Russes to put together, and that's not including the details and things like that that we're doing to these other ones. You know, revamping or fixing them up. We've got another, because we've already got one Imperial Night Warden that belongs to this army, and we're going to put a second one together. We've got the Bane Blade that's got to go together. We've got, I lied. Holy crap, I lied. We've got 6 Lehman Russes, because I forgot about, you know, these that we've got to put together, like fully put together. We've got 3 Hellhound Devil Dogs that got to be put together. We've got the Warhound Titan. It's got to be put together. And I'm pretty sure, unless I buy something else, and depending upon how it works out, the Gorgon thing that I was telling you guys about, and the guy's gonna 3D, you know, do a 3D print for me with a couple of those. Unless I've got to put them together or something like that, or it's a, you know, whole print on its own, then you know, that's basically all I have to put together. I won't lie to you, I am considering making some molds of some of my Krieg Death Korps, not to have troops out there, but to, like, you know, stick them in the back of these, you know, these chimeras, you know, just so like when you open the hatch, there he is, you know, kind of thing. You know, it wouldn't be hard to do, and it doesn't have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, I could just do the front half because you'd never see the back, because all these hatches are, you know, they're sealed. So let me see here. All right. I don't know why all of a sudden we've got some choppiness going on here. Maybe it cleared up. I don't know. It's weird. YouTube is always messing with me. Alright, that seems a little hard. We can get rid of this. Oh, looks like we did get a little bit of leakage down there at the bottom. Just a tiny bit in the corner. Oh, it's not quite hard. This is not hard. But what I can do is I can start removing this stuff just to make my life easier. And you know, you got to remember what it is that you're trying to do here, and you got to be patient with yourself and what you think it is, you know, that's happening, and sort it out, and it will sort out. I mean, you guys, you know, that have been on the channel for a while and seen me do this stuff before, you've seen, you know, this stuff. I mean, look at those Death Riders. That's a whole model. Horse, rider, you know, lances, all the pieces, trench tools, everything, and they all came out awesome for the most part. I mean, yeah, you've got a little imperfections here and there, but nothing that can't be fixed with some green stuff, you know, real fast and easy. And honestly, if they're, you know, if you're gonna use them like the way I'm gonna use them, I mean, they're probably gonna die quick anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's not a, you know, I'm not doing this again for tournaments or winning a golden demon or whatever. I'm just trying to, you know, make my hobby and my gameplay more enjoyable. And since just for, again, you guys that are new, this is, you know, I'm gonna paint this like a bus. That's why he doesn't have any legs. This is one of the Death Korps riders that I cast after my mold. You know what I mean? And I'm very happy with this. I mean, it's super awesome. And the sky's the limit. You know, I mean, it's really about whatever you think, you know, you can put together, you know, the time and effort to doing it. And I mean, if you learn how to do it, you do it right. I mean, you could literally, you know, probably cast anything. I mean, because they're not making this one anymore, the Todd McFarlane thing, I'm trying to figure out a way. Oh, just dropped all my school books. I'm trying to figure out a way in this flashlight of how I can take this Space Marine without taking him apart, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to, at least shoulder pads, whatever, put him in the pose that I want him, and then cast him as he is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe pull the rifle off, or I'm sorry, bolt rifle, whatever, off, and that's fine. But I mean, they're not making them anymore, and I've only got 2 of them, and I would love to have a ton of these guys just for painting. You know, I mean, obviously you're not going to play with it, but it, you know, in my mind, it would be super awesome to have that. Sorry, knocked down a 50 cal round over here. I'm not joking. Alright. How do we feel about this? It feels a little hard. I'm not even sure what the time was. We never checked it. Not feeling any heat. And usually the heat tells you if it's still curing. Alright, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's not a good one. We didn't... Oh, definitely not done. But we're closer to the product that we want. And let me explain why. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out so I can get started again. So everything, for the most part, worked out. And you see how we have a very small film of, you know, plastic. This is okay. Okay, this is completely okay. I'm not even concerned about this. We got an arm here. Not really concerned about that. But the reason this didn't work out is what little bit of leakage we did get before we fixed the problem came out of, most likely, it drained from here. Okay, but another thing is, and I'm pretty sure it drained. It's not an air pocket issue. But since we've identified that, and we want to, you know, always try to improve on this, I'm going to probably make a bigger channel, or maybe even another channel, just to make sure that air gets out of there. Now, some of you may be thinking to yourselves, why don't you just leave the plastic there? You know, especially if it's going to harden and, you know, it might block, you know, and stuff like that. Well, you're right, it could, and I've done that in the past. The problem is when you get that buildup, then you can't seal anymore. So it's better to just go ahead and pull it off, you know, if you run into this problem. And again, we pulled this off early. Pretty sure it was early, because it's, you know, it's not hard right now. And you'll see later on these will harden right up. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my scalpel, razor blade, whatever, and I'm going to open this channel up even more. Alright. Don't be afraid to cut into this stuff. You're not going to ruin it. Just to make that channel a little bit bigger, try to help ensure we get resin flow, or whatever, not resin, plastic in there. Alright. The other thing I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and make that channel I was talking about, because I want to be able to pour here, and I want that the air bubbles to find a way out and make sure that we're getting all the way down. The great thing is we are actually getting all the way down here, so this is actually working out. This might be a small problem, but it's simple, man. All I gotta do is make this channel cut here, and if you notice, I'm doing it at an angle, okay, and I'm doing it right against where it's supposed to be, at you know, where it's, you know, I can clip that off, and it's not a big deal because it's actually going to be underneath it. All right. Let me get in here. Okay, like that. I could do the same here, but I really don't want to because of the detail that's right there. And I'm going to cut this a little lower as well. Just because we don't really have a whole lot to work with over here on this side. This is just basically the imprint of the other side. And then let's see, this is going to connect underneath, so I'm going to what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to make an air channel for this thing, and if stuff comes out of the top, that's fine, but that's not what I'm hoping for. Again, we're trying to get those air bubbles out. I mean, again, we haven't really seen that or had a problem with that on these tank rails, but you know, anything could happen. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just improving on my mold. That's all. And it doesn't take much. Take that out. Okay. And get some of this crap off of here. And I'm fairly confident that our next cast is going to be the one that we need. Third time's a charm. Pretty confident. If not, I know there's, you know, some slight things that we can make improvements on. But we also know we're going to be using those clamps again. Okay. Everything looks fairly well. I'm surprised the clamps worked as well as they did, considering I'm not even sure these rubber bands did anything anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and put them back on anyway. And do me a favor, if you made it this far in the video, you know, leave me leave some comments down below. If you like the live stream, or you know, if you'd rather have, you know, a prepared video, that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm, you know, the prepared video, because I can't do this, or I'm not doing this full time like some YouTubers. Will take a little longer. It might have to be like a weekly thing or something like that, especially with school going on now. for me. Can't believe I'm saying I'm back in school. It's crazy. But we'll get there. We'll, you know. And I really appreciate, again, those of you that are subscribed and have stuck around after all this time. Believe me, I wasn't not doing it because I was burnt out or didn't want to. It just, life got in the way, as it were. Alright, let's see if we can get away with that. Nope. Hold on. Don't know if we'll get away with this, but with, you know, this little bit of rubber bands or whatever, we're gonna find out. Okay. I'm thinking we should be okay, but we'll find out. And I don't think I told you guys, but I am signed up. Maybe I did, I don't remember, but I'm signed up for the Imperial magazine subscription. So that'll, I mean, it's not like I need more models, obviously, but it was just too good a deal to pass up. You know, I wasn't able to get involved in Conquest and all that, but I did, in fact, do a subscription for Imperium. And I will be, you know, I'll do reviews on that. I mean, I know I first did it back before they canceled all of our stuff, but come on, baby. Third time's a charm. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Oh, yeah, look at those air bubbles. That's what I'm looking for. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up, air bubbles. Don't drain on me. Unless you're an air bubble. If you're an air bubble, that's fine. If you're not, I'm not cool with that. Alright, looking good here. Looking good. Let's see here. I'm being buzzed by a Virginia gargoyle tyrannid, also known as a stink bug, because it's really cold outside and somehow this thing found its way inside and is trying to stay warm, and it's attracted by all the lights. So there's that. Yeah, we still had quite a bit left over here. I think we're good right now, man. This is looking good. We didn't hardly use anything. Yep, and we've got a little bit right over here. We've got a little bit of plastic stuff right there. So that tells me the air got forced out and that channel got filled with the plastic medium, which is awesome. In the meantime, let's see. Yep, this is, yeah, see? This got hard and it's hardening. And these are not bad pieces for, you know, terrain. Be happy to keep these as well. Those in the terrain box. I mean, look at that. Now I've got a bent, in a way, melted, bent, slash, whatever you want to call it, steel girder. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta let, you know, not freak out and let your imagination do what it wants to do. But this is the hobby, guys. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't go this far, and I can appreciate that. But for me, the amount of money that I spent on, you know, that Krieg army. Hey, look at this. Is this the arm that got broken? I think it is. So that we can replace that one. Awesome. Anyway, you know, the amount of money I spent on the Krieg, you know, I want the army to look amazing. I mean, I'm going to be going all out when it comes time to paint it. You know, all the other stuff I've got to do to it. Track guards on every vehicle, including my Steel Legion guys. You know, now my Cadians and things like that, I don't know that I'm going to bother with vehicles for them. I think it's just going to be really small, like, you know, 500-point armies or something like that. You know, something real tiny. Maybe Kill Team-esque. But let's see here. Just doing a little cleanup while we wait on this to cure. And that's looking really good, man. Really good. I'm not seeing anything on the bottom. Nothing seemed to leak out the sides. Nope. I don't see anything. Pretty stoked about this. We may have finally figured it out. And that's just all it is, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm super stoked. So, gonna change, you know, hang out here, wait for this thing to cure, just so you guys can see this. Cause I'm anxious. I'm sure you guys are anxious. Oh, got my brass rods in today for putting my Warhound together. So that thing will be pretty stout and stable. Actually, I'll put those back over here. Show you another model I have. I didn't put this together. It's one of my favorites. I'm just kidding. It's not really a model, I guess, but this is a Bmw Gs 1200. I actually own this motorcycle, except mine has bags and everything else. But I had to pick it up. You know, it even has, you know, working center stand and, you know, kickstand and whatnot. But I had to pick this thing up. You know, when I was in the BMW shop, getting my motorcycle. I mean, why not? 2014 model, super awesome bike. Round the world bike, Dakar Rally, if you know anything about that. It's a lifetime motorcycle, and it's probably the last bike, you know, street bike I'll ever own. For those of you who don't know, I used to race motocross and stuff too, so that's my other hobby is, you know, motorcycles. Of course, I haven't really gotten a chance to ride too much, and owning and operating two businesses with my wife and then two little kids and things like that, but I'm slowly getting to the point where we can make time for this stuff. So had to do somehow or another I forgot that with some Krieg that I forgot to put antennas on radio operators, and I had to make myself one more radio operator. I'm not sure what, somehow I miscount. I mean, it's 100 guys and I missed one. Okay, great. You know, it's not a big deal. Come on, baby. I'm excited about it. I know this is going to be the one. I know it. I just don't want to jinx it. But I've got so many projects for 40K. I mean, I got to get my football game going again. And I'm not in a Blood Bowl. The rules are too convoluted and bloated and ridiculous. I want something fast-paced, fun, roll the dice, move your models, keep it going. And the way that I have my rules and everything set up, it's I do something, my opponent does something. I do something, opponent does something. And you're able to do that, you know. And it's super easy rules. And someday I'll bring that up on here. But I want to get this is Pittsburgh Steeler Space Marine with a football quarterback, but it's obviously a melt-a-bomb. I want to repaint this, all of them, because both the teams are all painted up, but they're not painted very well because it was a rush job. It was all the paint that we had was just some crap paint, where we were located. Didn't have access to any of my stuff. Horrible lighting, you name it. And I'd like to revisit that. But you have the New Orleans Saints and we had the Pittsburgh Steelers, because that's, I grew up not in Pittsburgh, but as a kid I loved the colors of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and my wife, she was all about the New Orleans Saints, so it's kind of our thing, and it's fun the way that we do it. Still got some heat there. That means it's soft, so we don't want to do that. We're gonna wait it out, guys. We're gonna wait it out. Let's see what else we're working on here. Well, it's late. Got a lot of stuff to do on these tanks and everything. A lot of magnetization that's got to happen too. That's one thing that's definitely going to happen, because I am going to make sure that I can use all of these parts for sure. Pterodactyl's buzzing again. If I can get a hold of this idiot, I'm going to knock him on the floor. The Virginia pterodactyl. Tyranid spy. Who needs lictors when you have these guys? Stand by. I'm pretty sure that was one shot, one kill, but we'll find out. You never know with these guys. They're super resilient. Their chitin or carapace armor would rival a Carnifex. Just saying. Come on, baby. Come on. Like I said, normally takes, 10, 15 minutes, but what I'm thinking is going on here with this one is, because it's such a thin mold, if you will, and everything is so compressed compared to, something that's as wide as this, this horse and stuff. There's not really anything that can... Just got the buzzing in my head, I guess. There's not a place for the heat to go, and dissipate. So I'm just kind of waiting it out here a little bit longer. I think I can take this off for now. I just won't open it up. I know, it's like, man, I'm super impatient right now. I want to see this project work. I know it's going to work. I know it's going to work. I just, I want to be able to show you guys, and I want to know before I go to bed that, the work, the money, that, everything wasn't a waste. So, anybody got any psychic powers you can, put down in this thing? Where's Airman when I need him? You know what it could be? It could be Lord of Change messing with me at the moment. I don't have one of those upstairs. It's downstairs, so. And that's something else I got to put together, man. I put most of him together, but I wanted to, like, I don't know, in my mind I was thinking, well, I need to, you know, this is the only, you know, Slaneshi greater demon that I have. I need to magnetize stuff. And then, I don't know why I always think like that, you know, like I'm going to be playing all these major games or, you know, playing in games all the time and needing all these options. And then I found, I think it's called Creature Caster. And man, I mean, they have some pretty cool stuff. And I was digging the female, you know, demons and stuff. So I bought, you know, one of each of those. I think one of each of those anyway. And I'm looking forward to putting them together and painting them. A little smaller than I thought that they would be, but I mean, you know, what does it matter? So, alright. Here we go, man. Moment of truth. Pray for rain. Come on, baby. Don't let me down. Looking good so far. Come on. Come on, baby. Let the good times roll. Come on, baby. Oh, man. Everything was good, or is good, except for right here. We didn't get enough resin in there. So that's an air pocket right there, guys. That's what that is. Easy fix though. Easy fix. And these don't need to be thrown away. These parts don't need to be thrown away. Right here is his shoulder because of how I pushed him down in there. Right? And that's where we're going to make our channel cut. Because that's where the arm is going to glue on. So it's not going to even matter. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to even matter. Oh, air pocket. Gotta love it. Yep. And that right there is going to solve our little problem. But everything else works. See this channel right here we made? When we cut that, look at it. It's filled with resin. So right on. And you see this channel right here that we made? I mean resin. Plastic. Filled with plastic. Oh, I didn't see this down here. This one didn't get filled either. Same thing, air pocket deal. Which is weird because we had, oh, I know why, because it filled up like this and then it was pushed back together. Okay, easy day. All we need to do here, let's throw that away. That's the binos guy. All we need to do here is open this up a little more. And the way that we're going to do this, I'm thinking about, no, that goes to his head. Okay, we're just going to make, yeah, we're going to come right off this elbow into this right here, okay? And man, I'm tempted to actually go from elbow to elbow or elbow to here, but this filled in no problem, so I don't really want to mess with that. Okay. Alright, now that should help with some of the channeling here. I'm gonna let this sit because judging by what I'm feeling right here, it feels a little soft. So I'm not gonna pull this out, and we will end the video here in just a second. But I want to thank you guys. As you guys can see, we're making progress on this, and it's going to be worth it. It really is. So with all that said, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.